Good afternoon. Welcome to Midcap Radar. I'm Reema Tendulkar. With me is Sonal Bhutra. These are the top stories. Midcaps trade flat on expiry day, faring better than large caps.
AU Small Finance Bank surges after its CEO gets a 3-year extension in term from RBI. The development raises questions over why IndusInd Bank CEO got an extension of only 2.
Campus activist surges post acquiring land assets of Marico Industries in Himachal Pradesh. The acquisition is expected to boost capacity.
Anand Rathi Wealth reports muted growth in its Q4 results, sharply missing its AUM guidance. Management tells CNBC-TV18 that they hope to exceed the current conservative guidance levels in FY24.
Anupam Rasayan gains on its specialty chemicals pact with the Japanese firms, signs an LOI for a 15,000 crore rupee project spanning 7 years.
Okay, low for our markets today, but we have been able to hold on to those lows. So Nifty is down 40 points right now. A slight recovery actually from the lows is what we are looking at. 17,771 on the Nifty. And of course, it is something that we saw in the global markets as well. We are snapping our 8-day winning streak, so to say. We'll have to see in last 1 hour of trade whether we sustain these levels or there is further recovery from here or not, because it's the weekly options expiry as well. Bank Nifty is the one which is actually just doing the opposite. This is the index which is in the green with gains of 200 points right now, 0.5% higher on that one, and it has picked up some pace as well. Midcaps absolutely flat with some negative bias, but it has been hovering in that green and red range. We are looking forward to a longer weekend for sure, but yes, last 1 hour will be very crucial, Reema.
We're waiting for the long weekend, but not without Infosys numbers coming out at 4 to 4:30. But Midcaps relatively faring better. So the Midcap index is flat. The advanced decline ratio, however, is split right down the middle. 1439 stocks in the green for 1425 stocks currently in the red. Let's get to Midcap movers. Vivek is here with that list. Vivek.
Well, that's right. So, when you're talking about the entire mid-cap and the broader end of the space, today, quite a lot of stocks are seeing a bit of profit booking after the continuous rally that we've seen in the last 2 trading weeks. Some stocks, of course, make the list. First on our list is FACT. Now, this particular stock has gained on all of the sessions of this particular week. Over 40% in this week itself is the kind of rally this particular name has seen. Also, the agrochem as well as pharma names continue to see up move. Solar Active Pharma and Aztec Life Sciences today moving up on very strong volumes as well. Couple of names where volume activity is very strong. Both Graphite India and HCT, both of them moving higher in tandem on strong volumes in today's trading session. Eris Life Sciences up after a while on strong volumes, and BASF, the Indian arm, is doing quite well today and up on strong volumes. On the other hand, some of the stocks that are seeing a bit of profit booking, PNB Housing Finance, down on strong volumes today, down almost 7%. PFC taking a bit of a breather after the recent rally that the stock has seen, and Bandhan Bank continues to languish. This particular stock has seen a bit of a breakdown on the technical end as well.
It has, that's right. Thank you, Vivek, for joining us. The fertilizer names, they are continue to see an uptick. FACT, for instance, is up 50% in the last 5 days itself. We'll do one thing, we'll move on and talk about technicals of the markets right now. Let's welcome Himen Kapadia of KR Choksi Securities. Himen, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, we are down, but it's not such a sharp downtick that we are seeing today. Do you expect further pressure on the markets, or these are the levels around which we'll consolidate?
A very good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for having me. I think, yes, consolidation at these levels is a must. Most probably a correction also. 17,800 Sonal has been a source of support resistance, as the case may be alternatively. Okay, we went to 17,800 plus today, but now we are sort of cooling off. And yes, markets do look a bit stretched. Frankly speaking, we need to slip into a correction. We've had a brilliant run up, 16,850 to 17,827. So it's been 1,000 points. We need a cool off. Now the Bank Nifty is managing to hold the market up. So I believe we'd hang around over here. The minute we close below 17,700, and that will happen only if the Bank Nifty weakens a bit. So we're on the cusp. It's overbought. You look at the hourly, 2 hourly, 3 hourly charts. The mechanical indicators have given a sell. So frankly speaking, we are ripe for a correction. But it's like the Bank Nifty is propping everything up. Yeah.
Okay. What about stocks, Himen?
Reema, firstly, there is a buy call on Metropolis Healthcare. we've consolidated quite a bit. There was a huge volume spike yesterday. We made a weekly base, and this has been in the making for the last 9 weeks or so. Deeply oversold, positive divergences, crossover buys. Set for a bounce, so one can buy Metropolis Healthcare at 1280. Stop loss 1240, target of 1360. A sell call on MCX. Now, MCX has been in a distribution pattern for the last 22 trading sessions. The breakdown comes in below 1460, a closing. We made a rounding top on the daily chart, which is basically a bearish pattern, and we are ripe. So looks like we are heading for a breakdown from this distribution pattern. One can sell MCX at 1470, stop loss 1500, target 1410.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Himen, for joining us. Hope you have a great long weekend ahead. With that, we'll do one thing. We'll slip into a short break and get in Mr. M.K. Dhanuka, the MD of Dhanuka Agritech, to discuss the latest monsoon forecast by the IMD and what is in store for agrochem players and the business outlook as well. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still tuned into Midcap Radar on CNBC-TV18. Earlier in the week, the IMD forecast a normal monsoon this season, even as it expects India to see the impact of El Nino in the second half of the season. This forecast follows unseasonal rains and heat waves we saw last month. Continuing our focus on the agricultural space, we have the management of Dhanuka Agritech with us. Mr. M.K. Dhanuka, the CEO of the company, is joining us now. Mr. Dhanuka, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, I remember the last time we had spoken to you, you did indicate that Q4 has not been as good as you expected. Can you give us a sense of what is the status now? How has Q1 of FY24, it's barely been 15 days, but how has it been till now? And with the IMD forecasting normal rains, what is the indication of demand?
Yeah, IMD has forecasted normal monsoon, that is 96% of the long period average, and SkyMet has forecasted 94%. So although the SkyMet forecast is little less, but I don't foresee that it will have any major impact on the agriculture and sowing. So overall, we don't see any degrowth in the demand of the agrochemicals, because ultimately farmer has to do his earning from the agriculture, and if agriculture is there, the consumption of the pesticides is going to be there. April month is basically the lean month period, where only the some sowing which is in the summer season is there. So some sales are there, but definitely it is not the peak season time. Once the monsoon comes, then the peak season will start, and only then we will come to know about the demand and supply situation.
Sir, but just for the period in which we had those unseasonal waves, heat wave, was demand impacted for a matter of 2 to 3 weeks? And if yes, could you quantify it?
No, during the last March month and the first week of April, demand was as usual. Because of the heat wave, it has not impacted the demand. And going forward also, I don't foresee that there should be any problem in demand generation.
Okay, so you are saying that Q4 was impacted because of unseasonal rains or heat wave, but Q1 will see some recovery, and the weather conditions are normal now. So demand is going to be stable or maybe slightly improve. Am I getting that correct after April?
Yeah, because the unseasonal rain came in the later part of the season when the crop was on the harvesting position. So it has impacted to some extent, especially the wheat crop. But overall, still the government is expecting all-time record production of the wheat, and they hope that they are going to purchase the all-time high-level wheat procurement. So I don't foresee that in coming months also, once the monsoon comes, then definitely demand generation will start, and overall we are expecting double-digit growth in the FY24 ending.
Double-digit growth for FY24 end. What about raw material prices? How have they panned out?
Yeah, raw material prices are on the reducing trend. Every month we are reducing the prices of our trends also as per the reduction in the prices of raw material, and still they are declining month on month basis, and every month we are reducing and passing on the benefit to the farmers.
So Mr. Dhanuka, on an average, how much have prices declined for raw materials so far in this year? How much have you been able to pass on to the farmers in terms of percentage?
It depends product to product, and in glyphosate, the prices has come down to the tune of 50%. So from 1,000 rupees, the prices has come down less than 500 rupees for the raw material. So in some cases, it is 50%, 30%, 20%, 10%. So on an average, you can say that the prices would have fallen from 15 to 20%.
15 to 20%. And have you passed on the entire benefit and reduced your own output prices by 15 to 20%?
Yeah, definitely. Then this is happening in generic products only. The specialty molecules which we are importing from Japan, there the competition less, and there is no impact of the price reduction. Usually there is no increase also, and there is no decrease also. But in generics, when the market demand is higher and supply is less, the prices increases, and when the demand is less and the supply is also less, so then in that case the prices are on the reducing trend.
We get that, sir. Can you give us a sense of what's the split between generic and specialized molecules for you? Is the specialized part a bigger kitty of overall revenues?
No, around 50-50, you can say 50% is generic and 50% is specialty.
Okay. So with the cut that you've seen in raw material prices and some of it you've passed on as well, what is the margin outlook? Because Q3 did see a decline. You were hovering around the 13% mark. FY22 margins stood at 18%. What is the outlook for FY24 in this case?
We are looking improvement of 200 pips for FY24 over FY23. So 200 bips margin improvement we are definitely looking for the current financial year.
Okay.
How has exports been for you? You recently got into the export market. What are the numbers looking like in terms of sales, the run rate?
It is at an infant stage, you can say startup basically. So it will take some time to increase the export, but definitely we are getting good inquiries, and in the very first year we are able to do 5 consignments exports, and we do hope once our Dahej plant will start, then we will be able to make exports of the technical grade pesticides also, because major exports is happening of technicals, not of the formulations.
Sir, the Dahej plant was supposed to be commissioned in March, right? It has been delayed a bit. By when do you expect it to be commissioned? Why the delay? And once the exports start, what kind of revenue opportunity are you seeing at peak capacity utilization here?
We hope that the plant, Dahej plant will start production from July 2023 onwards. And once the production from there it starts, it will take some time in exports, because we are looking for some, you can say, technical tie-up with some of the Japanese companies. And once that tie-up happens, only then the major exports will start from Dahej plant. Initially, we are going with the generics only, and for export also we have to register the product in the particular country. Like in India, if we are importing, we have to register from Central Insecticides Board, Faridabad, Ministry of Agriculture. So similarly, in other countries, we will have to basically register our product for making exports. So once that will happen, then the major exports will start.
Mr. Dhanuka, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining in. So the outlook demand continues to remain intact, guiding for a double-digit growth for FY24. Raw material prices have come down quite significantly, 15 to 20%. Exports are still in its infancy. Get into a break. On the other side, we'll talk more about the markets. Banks continue to power on. The Nifty Bank is up 200 points, but take a look at the individual constituents. Kotak Mahindra Bank has gained close to about 0.3%, adding on to the gains that it had in the prior week. Kotak Mahindra Bank this week has seen a rally of more than 5% on expectation that there will be foreign inflows once MSCI revises its weight higher in the standard index post the May review. Axis Bank too is trying to trim off all its losses and get back into the green, so that's another big mover. And you've also got ICICI Bank trying to tick higher. But let's talk about some of the mid-caps. Mutual funds have added a lot of the mid-caps and small caps to their portfolios in the month of March. Which ones stand out?
Well, interesting ones, So I was just looking at the list, and this report is by ICICI Direct and some data from Ace Equity as well. So in the month of March, they got into some of these interesting names. HDFC AMC is the one on the top of the list because remember, we did see a big decline after this debt mutual fund taxation regime had been changed. So the stocks fell a lot. So from that lot, HDFC AMC has been bought. Pyramid Enterprises, which has been an underperformer, is something which some of these mutual funds found very interesting. Biocon, that has been an underperformer in the pharma space, also attracted some of these big funds. The other ones include Devyani International, NMDC. Well, NMDC has been a favorite of a lot of these funds, and we'll discuss why in the later part of this particular piece as well. Sona BLW is the one. We have Star Health, which is being bought. Gillette is something that we don't discuss very often, but that is the one which funds have liked as well. Sun TV, this big name from the media space, is something that people have liked. Maybe the weakness that we saw in Z Entertainment versus that, Sun TV was something which was liked by these funds as well. In terms of small caps, we have Data Patterns. Remember that stock is at a fresh 52-week high. We have MapMy India, which is CE Info Systems. Wonderla Holidays has been making new highs because occupancies have come back to pre-COVID levels. Mahindra CIE, a lot of action happening in that particular stock as well. So that one also at a 52-week high. Home First Finance is one which has done well. And Kirloskar Oil, a big block deal took place last month. So that is a stock on our radar as well. Now, in terms of what has been sold, now that list will come up for you on the screen as well. A lot of them, actually, if we go to that particular screen, we have Patanjali. Yes Bank is something that people have sold. PB Fintech did report better numbers in Q3, but maybe there was some profit taking that these funds wanted to undertake. IRFC, after seeing that big uptake of around 60% in one of those months, has been on the selling list. Aditya Birla is the other one. We have L&T Technology Services, Astral Limited, Container Corp, Max Healthcare. Some of these names also were sold by mutual funds in the month of March. Now, from the small cap, interestingly, Mahanagar Gas, that made a big uptake or a comeback in the month of March, was actually sold by these investors. SH Kelkar fundamentally has been weak for quite some time. So that one too. Jindal Stainless, after that big merger, has been on the selling list. TCNS Clothing has come in for some profit taking. Quest Corp also. Orient Cement is one which has actually underperformed the cement sector itself, and that is also on the selling list. Jagran Prakashan, of course, we've seen that print media is not doing so well, so that one also has gone for some profit taking here. Now, AMC wise also, there are some top buys. Of course, it's a long list, but from that, the top buys for SBI AMC has been First Source, ICICI Pro, the new listing, that is Divji Torque Transfer. HDFC AMC has bought Red Tape, so that's a new name there. Nippon AMC has bought Data Patterns. NMDC has been bought not only by UTI AMC but also by Mirae AMC. So these two funds have shown some interest in NMDC. We have Aditya Birla Sun Life, which bought Gokuldas Exports. Axis AMC nibbled into Federal Bank, and DSP got Kirloskar Oil. So two stocks really stand out, Rima. One is NMDC and Kirloskar Oil, because that has really been topping the charts as far as buying is concerned.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you for highlighting that list. Let's talk about one more mid-cap, Anand Rathi. It's reported a muted Q4. It's missed its AUM guidance by nearly 1,000 crore rupees. Earlier today, we had a chat with Feroz Aziz, Deputy CEO of Anand Rathi Wealth. Listen into what he had to say.
It's 1,000 crore miss. We had said 40,000 crores on a consolidated basis. So we ended at 38,993. So that's 1,007 crore miss. If you look at 31st December, which is when we had revised in the last quarter, we had revised it to 40,000 crores from 39,000 crores. was Nifty was at 18,100, and when we closed the year, it was 17,300. Since Nifty was about 4% down, when we give a AUM guidance, because AUM is generally a one-shot 31st March value, and it's not an aggregate of a specific period, you are subject to the closing of the 31st March. When we give a guidance, we assume that the Nifty would be at the same levels, which was not the case. In MLDs, as use Section 50A, which now encompasses debt funds as well, any instrument which does not take risk is what has got included in 50A. Now, debt funds which have 35% equity are also not included. So basically, crux of the 50A section is, if you're not taking any risk, don't take the benefit of long-term capital gain and indexation. All the MLDs Anand Rathi has ever issued in the last 10.5 years, almost about 1,200 of them which have matured and 1,600 which are still to mature, not even one is a principal protected MLD. Our belief is that if you're doing an MLD, then do it for the right reason. We look at gross family additions. We're looking at 2,500 crores of new clients added. But what happens is we take it on a net basis. If there is some client who slips below 50 lakhs because of mark-to-market effect, we count them out.
Okay, that is Anand Rathi. Well, the other stock that's buzzing in trade is Anupam Rasayan. It has entered into a letter of intent worth $182 million with a Japanese MNC, which is amounting to around 1,500 crore rupees. And that's why the stock is up 4%. It is a new addition to the client roster for Anupam Rasayan. That's what the company, that's what the street likes. The tenure of the letter of intent is for a period of 7 years, and new products will be manufactured in company's existing facility. They will be using the existing capacity of the company, and company will be the exclusive supplier for these molecules out of India as well for this particular company. 3 molecules that the company will be manufacturing will be used as advanced intermediates for highly specialized polymers and liquid crystals. So definitely they are doing a lot of expansion in fluorination portfolio. So they are doing backward integration here, and that's why this comes across as a good news, because it will help them get more multinational clients as well. Reema.
Okay, interesting there. 3.5% gain. We'll wrap up on Midcap Radar Mutual Fund Corner when we return.